For my Module 4 D&E, I'm going to be doing option C, which is choose a word problem that includes two fractions being multiplied or divided. So my word problem is going to be a division word problem. So we're going to start out with my word problem. It is, Sally is baking a cake that asks for 1/2 cups of water. Sally can only find her 1/6 measuring cup. How many 1/6 cups of water will she use? So what we're first going to do is we're just going to go back to our word problem skills and figure out if this is a multiply, divide, add, or subtraction kind of question. So what I would do first is I would look at the two numbers that it has. So it says that we're baking a cake that asks for 1/2 cups of water. We can only find our 1/6 measuring cup. We need to see how many times 1/6 goes into 1/2. Therefore, we're going to be dividing since we're trying to find out how many times a smaller number goes into a larger number. So, what we're going to figure out now is that our problem is going to be 1/2 divided by 1/6. So, what we're going to use right now are these cards, and they represent wholes and parts of a whole. So first I'm going to show y'all the whole. This is going to be our whole number. So this bar represents 1. Now I'm going to show y'all 1/2 since we're going to be dealing with 1/2 during this word problem. So this we can see is 1/2 plus 1/2, and both of these parts make up a whole. So we can say that 1/2 equals a whole because they are the same length. Now, since the other number we're going to be dealing with is 1/6, I'm going to show you all the parts of a whole for 1/6. So we're going to start out with 1/6. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now putting these together, we can see that all of my 1/6 add up together are the same size as the one whole. Therefore, all 1/6 of these parts equals a whole. So now that we've done that, we're going to go ahead and start working on our division problem. So we won't really be dealing with the one whole during this, but I just wanted to show y'all just kind of proof that I'm using a one whole, and to show y'all the parts of a whole definition, really showing that 2 1/2 equals one whole and that 6 1/6 equals one whole. But during our math problem, we're only going to be using 1/2 and 1/6. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out with just 1/2. Now what we want to do is we're going to want to see how many times 1/6 can go into 1/2, because that's what we do during division. So we're going to start with 1. And so there's 1. We'll stack them on top of it. 2. And we're just going to stack these up until they completely fill up the 1/2. And 3. So now we can see, I'll move this aside a little bit, that 3 of these 1/6 are the same as just 1/2. So what that would tell us is that since 3 1/6 equals 1/2, 1/2 divided by 1/6 will be 3. Now, we may look at this and think it's kind of weird, because normally whenever we divide whole numbers, we get smaller answers. So I would say that's one thing that's pretty confusing about dividing fractions. But since our fractions are smaller and we're just trying to make up a whole, I would say we're pretty much going to be getting whole numbers as our answers, which is really weird, because I would think first off that if I was dividing fractions, wouldn't you kind of think dividing and more dividing, normally we get smaller numbers. But it's just completely different with fractions, because typically we're going to be getting a bigger number. And in this case, it's even, it's even a whole number. Sometimes we can get fractions also when we're dividing fractions, but in this case, I chose a number that was going to make a whole fraction. And we see that 1/2 divided by 1/6 equals 3.